the chilling unsolved mystery of the Long Island serial killer. It began with a phone call that froze the night air. A frantic woman's voice, gasping, crying, whispering into the receiver, "He's after me." The line cut out. That was the last anyone heard from Shannan Gilbert. When police arrived near Oak Beach, Long Island, they thought it was just another missing person case. But they were wrong. What they found instead would unravel one of the most disturbing mysteries in modern American crime: a web of bodies, lies, and secrets buried in the sand. The shoreline was calm, deceptively peaceful. Expensive houses lined the private community, residents who valued their quiet, their privacy. But beneath that stillness lay horror. Months after Shannan's disappearance, a canine officer and his dog stumbled upon something wrapped in burlap. It wasn't her. It was another woman, then another, and another. 4 bodies in total, all women, all missing, all sex workers, all dumped within a quarter-mile of each other. The media dubbed him the Long Island serial killer, LISK, the Gilgo Beach killer, the Butcher of Babylon. Detectives worked around the clock, combing through missing persons reports, escort ads, burner phone records. Each victim shared eerie similarities. Petite, in their 20s or 30s, last seen alive after arranging a meeting with a client through Craigslist or Backpage. Each vanished without a trace until their remains surfaced in the dunes. Megan Waterman, Amber Lynn Costello, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Barthelme. They had dreams once. Megan wanted to open a hair salon. Amber was funny, loud, a survivor. Maureen had 2 kids. Melissa, a dancer, sent money home to her family. Each woman's story was a reminder that these weren't faceless victims. They were loved, human, real. As detectives pieced together the timeline, a chilling pattern emerged. The killer used burner phones. He contacted victims through escort listings, often with careful phrasing, same tone, same method. But what truly sent shivers down spines were the calls he made after the killings. To Melissa's younger sister, taunting her, describing what he'd done. His voice cold, calm, almost amused. Police traced the calls to crowded areas, Manhattan, Times Square, impossible to pinpoint. Whoever he was smart, careful, patient. For years, the investigation stretched on. The case grew colder by the season, yet the island's secrets only deepened. More remains surfaced. Partial skeletons, dismembered limbs, torsos found miles apart from heads or hands. Some victims had been dead for years before the first discovery. This wasn't one killer, some detectives whispered. It was 2, maybe more. The case consumed everyone it touched. Investigators worked themselves into obsession. Journalists camped outside the gated communities. The residents, wealthy, private, suddenly surrounded by police, started to turn on each other. Rumors spread, accusations whispered in grocery aisles and beach clubs. Who among them was capable of this? One name came up again and again: Dr. Peter Hackett, a retired emergency responder who lived near where Shannan disappeared. He'd called her mother days after the girl vanished, claiming to have met Shannan, saying he ran a home for wayward girls. When questioned, Hackett denied making the call. But phone records proved otherwise. His explanation changed with every interview, yet no physical evidence tied him to the murders. He was strange, yes, but was he the killer? Another suspect, Joseph Brewer, the man who hired Shannan the night she vanished. He claimed she became erratic, paranoid, ran into the dark screaming that someone was trying to kill her. Neighbors saw her, barefoot, hysterical, banging on doors, but no one opened them. Within minutes, she was gone. For years, the Suffolk County Police Department faced accusations of corruption and incompetence. Evidence went missing. Leads were ignored. A police chief, James Burke, was later convicted of beating a suspect who had stolen sex toys from his car, then covering it up. When that scandal broke, many wondered if the LISK investigation had been deliberately sabotaged. In 2020, a new task force was formed. Fresh eyes, new technology, a promise to finally bring justice. Then came the breakthrough. In 2022, they released photos of a belt, an embossed WH or HM. It was found near one of the victims, and behind the scenes, digital forensics teams were closing in on something bigger. Phone records, DNA from a discarded pizza crust, a truck seen near one of the disappearances. In July 2023, police arrested a man named Rex Hewerman, a married father of 2, an architect, a quiet man who commuted to New York City. He lived in Massapequa Park, just miles from Gilgo Beach. His neighbors described him as strange, intense. His clients called him meticulous, but in his basement, detectives found a vault. Hundreds of guns, burner phones, ID cards belonging to other people, and internet searches that made even veteran investigators recoil. Rex was charged with the murders of Megan, Amber, and Melissa. He denied everything. His wife filed for divorce. His children vanished from public view. And yet, something still didn't sit right. The timing, the details, the phone records that seemed too neat, too convenient. Could it really be that simple? Investigators dug deeper. They discovered Rex had searched for Gilgo Beach investigation updates thousands of times. He'd studied how serial killers were caught. He'd even read the online forums about himself after the case went public. But then came the twist. Shannan Gilbert. Her death, officially ruled accidental, never fully fit the pattern. Her remains were found a year after she disappeared in a marsh nearby. The medical examiner claimed she drowned, but her family never believed it. And when you look closer, you start to see why. Shannan's frantic 911 call lasted 23 minutes. She begged for help, claimed someone was after her. The dispatcher didn't track the call location. Police took nearly an hour to respond. By then, she was gone. Her final words, muffled, echo through recordings, almost like she's running. Then silence. Theories spread like wildfire. Was Shannan another victim of LISK, or did she stumble upon something darker, a secret that cost her life? Some think the killer was more than one person, maybe a group. Others believe it was a copycat, a husband, a client, a police officer. As the years passed, the beaches grew quiet again. But the ghosts remained. Families still visit the dunes, laying flowers where their daughters were found. Reporters still dig, hoping to uncover one last truth. Every new piece of evidence raises another question. Why were some victims wrapped in burlap and others dismembered? Why were remains scattered across multiple counties, from Gilgo to Manorville? If Rex Heuermann killed the Gilgo Four, who killed the others? Detectives say they have their man, but locals whisper otherwise. They talk about the other men questioned and released, about the calls that still haunt the families, about how easy it is, in the dark, to disappear on that stretch of road between Jones Beach and Fire Island. In interviews, Shannan's mother still insists her daughter was murdered. Her voice shakes, but doesn't break. She's fought the police, the press, the doubt. For her, closure never came. Not really. There's a detail the public rarely hears. When investigators searched Shannan's remains, they found her jeans, her shoes, her purse, everything but her phone. It was never recovered. Somewhere out there, in the sands of Long Island, that phone may still hold the truth. Maybe the killer's voice, maybe his name. And maybe that's why the story refuses to end. Because even with an arrest, the mystery lingers. Too many bodies, too many inconsistencies, too many unanswered questions. The Long Island serial killer case is more than a crime. It's a mirror, reflecting fear, corruption, and the fragile line between justice and secrecy. As of today, Rex Heuermann sits in jail, awaiting trial. The police call him a monster. The evidence against him is strong, but some of the families aren't convinced. They believe the real killer or killers are still free. And maybe, just maybe, he's watching the headlines, the documentaries, the TikToks, smiling in the shadows, pleased that the world still whispers his name. Because on that lonely stretch of sand where the Atlantic meets the marsh, the wind still carries her voice. He's after me. He's after me. Then silence.